Welcome to Relationship Therapy. I'm a marriage and family counselor with over 25 years of experience in diagnosing behaviors, treating emotional patterns, and helping individuals and couples succeed both personally and professionally. Today we're diving into a topic that many of you have encountered, the trauma bond. What is a trauma bond? A trauma bond is a deep emotional attachment that forms between a victim and an abuser, often seen in relationships involving narcissistic abuse. This toxic bond keeps the victim trapped in an unhealthy relationship, despite the harm they endure. It develops due to a cycle of idealization, devaluation, and discard, which creates emotional confusion and dependency. People experiencing a trauma bond often struggle to leave the relationship, even when they recognize the harm. They may make excuses for the narcissist's behavior, blame themselves, or hold on to the hope that things will improve. The psychological effects of this bond can be overwhelming, leading to low self-worth, anxiety, depression, and emotional exhaustion. How does a trauma bond form? A trauma bond doesn't happen overnight. It develops gradually, trapping the victim in a cycle of manipulation and emotional confusion. Here's how it happens. First comes the love bombing, idealization phase. At the beginning of the relationship, the narcissist overwhelms the victim with love, attention, and admiration. This can feel exhilarating and even magical, as the narcissist mirrors the victim's desires, making them feel like they have found their soulmate. During this stage, the narcissist may 1. Shower the victim with compliments and gifts. 2. Spend excessive time with them. 3. Make grand promises about the future. 4. Say things like, "I've never felt this way before," or "We're perfect for each other." This creates an intense emotional connection and a dopamine rush, making the victim feel deeply attached. 2. Devaluation phase. Once the victim is emotionally invested, the narcissist begins to withdraw their affection and introduce criticism. This shift happens subtly at first, creating confusion. Signs of devaluation include 1. Gaslighting, making the victim question their reality. "That never happened," or "You're too sensitive." 2. Blame shifting. The narcissist never takes responsibility for their actions. "If you weren't so difficult, I wouldn't have to act this way." 3. Emotional neglect, ignoring the victim's needs and feelings. 4. Triangulation, comparing the victim to others to create insecurity. "My ex never acted like this." 3. Intermittent reinforcement, the push-pull dynamic. One of the most powerful aspects of the trauma bond is intermittent reinforcement, where the narcissist alternates between kindness and cruelty. 1 moment they act loving and apologize for their behavior. 2. The next they withdraw again or lash out. This unpredictability creates psychological addiction, making the victim constantly crave the narcissist's approval. The brain releases dopamine, pleasure hormone, during good moments, and cortisol, stress hormone, during bad moments, creating an emotional roller coaster. 4. Fear of abandonment and dependency. By this stage, the victim is emotionally hooked. They begin to fear losing the narcissist despite the mistreatment. The narcissist may threaten to leave, give silent treatment, or discard them temporarily, only to return with apologies and promises. 5. Cognitive dissonance and self-blame. Cognitive dissonance occurs when a person struggles to reconcile two conflicting realities. 1. The narcissist was once loving and kind. 2. Now they are cold, manipulative, and cruel. To cope, the victim often rationalizes the abuse, making excuses like 1. They're just going through a tough time. 2. If I change, they'll love me again. 3. Maybe it's my fault. This deepens the trauma bond, making it harder to leave. Signs you're in a trauma bond. 1. You obsess over the narcissist even after mistreatment. 2. You feel guilty for wanting to leave. 3. You constantly seek their approval. 4. You make excuses for their behavior. 5. You feel like you can't live without them. 6. You experience anxiety, depression, or emotional numbness. If these sound familiar, you may be caught in a trauma bond. Why is it so hard to leave a trauma bond? 1. Psychological addiction. The highs and lows of narcissistic abuse create a chemical dependency in the brain, similar to an addiction. The victim craves the narcissist's approval, making it difficult to walk away. 2. Low self-worth. After prolonged devaluation, the victim's self-esteem is shattered. They feel unworthy of love and connection, believing they won't find anyone better. 3. Hope for change. Narcissists often breadcrumb their victims, offering just enough kindness to keep them holding on. The victim clings to hope that things will return to how they were during the love bombing phase. 4. Fear of being alone. The narcissist has often isolated the victim from friends, family, and support systems. This makes the idea of leaving feel overwhelming and lonely. How to break a trauma bond and healing from a trauma bond is challenging but possible. Here are the key steps. 1. Go no contact or limited contact if necessary. Cut off communication completely. Block their number, social media, and email. If you have shared responsibilities like children, use low contact strategies with clear boundaries. 2. Educate yourself on narcissistic abuse. Understanding the cycle of abuse helps break the emotional attachment. Read books, watch videos, or talk to survivors who have been through similar experiences. 3. Seek therapy and professional support. A trauma-informed therapist can help rewire thought patterns, heal emotional wounds, and rebuild self-esteem. 4. Reconnect with yourself. 1. Practice self-care, exercise, journal, meditate. 2. Rediscover your interests and passions. 3. Surround yourself with supportive people who uplift you. 5. Address the trauma and rebuild self-worth. 1. Affirmations. I'm worthy of love and respect. 2. Inner child healing, work through past wounds. 3. Emotional processing. Allow yourself to grieve the loss of the relationship. 6. Join support groups. Connecting with others who have experienced narcissistic abuse provides validation and encouragement. Final thoughts. You can heal and move forward. Breaking free from a trauma bond with a narcissist is one of the hardest things you will ever do, but it is possible. The pain, confusion, and self-doubt will fade with time as you reclaim your identity and self-worth. You deserve love, respect, and a healthy relationship. The narcissist's actions do not define your value. With education, support, and self-care, you can heal, rebuild your life, and find true happiness. Be sure to like and subscribe to Narcissistic Mondays, where we drop new content every week to educate and empower you on understanding this toxic disorder. If you're struggling, remember, you are not alone and you are stronger than you think.